offering bhog to Baba together, you feel sacred, right? This feeling of sacredness is very beautiful. It's a confluence between Sato Pradhan Bhakti and Sato Pradhan Gyan. What do you think? We are those who have done bhakti for the longest time. And so therefore our sanskaras of day-to-day interaction with Baba, relationship with Baba, is an ancient thing. When we come into Gyan, whatever was in our faith becomes a reality. Yes? And so we live with Baba in the mind, in the heart, eat with Baba, sleep with Baba, walk with Baba, love Baba, be loved by Baba, and enjoy the drama. Also enjoy the intimacy of a relationship with Baba, the closeness, the little ways in which he lets us know that he is present with us. Do you experience this? And when we offer bhog, we amplify this. We are close, we become close, we were close, we will be close. He is a family man, right? Without a body, but using the body of Brahma Baba, he says, I will take full enjoyment of my family for my one birth in the cycle. Everyone else has all the births, he has one birth, right? Om Shanti, 20th June. Dear and sweet children, do not waste your time chasing after a handful of chickpeas. What's that? It's money. And how much do you get when you go to work? Barely a handful. Barely. So now become Baba's helpers and glorify the Father's name. Question, what are the signs of you moving forward on the path of knowledge? How do you know you're moving forward? Answer, those children who constantly remember the region of peace, nirvana, the soul world, and the world of happiness, golden age, whose intellects do not wander anywhere at the time of remembrance. Don't just remember Baba, you remember what you forgot. You remember what bothered you. You remember the service things that you have to do, various things. And so to bring the focus of attention. Intellect means focus of attention when it comes to remembrance. Those whose intellects don't have waste thoughts. What is a waste thought? Vyart sankalp. Vyart, according to me, means meaningless. So there are many thoughts that we have that are not particularly significant, meaningful, or relevant to anything. That is a Vyart sankalp. Whose intellects, whose focus of attention is concentrated, you do not fall asleep. And the temperature of your happiness is high. So these elements indicate that you are moving forward on the path of knowledge. Om Shanti. The children have been sitting here for so long. in the confluence age, not in the meditation room. It enters your hearts that you are sitting in Shivalaya. So what is Shivalaya? It's always in brackets, the temple of Shiva, but I don't think you are sitting in a temple. Are you sitting in a temple? What is a temple? Place of worship. So Shivalaya has many meanings, and Shivalaya is applied to temples of Shiva, but Shivalaya is also the place where Shiv Baba is. So we are where Shiv Baba is. He's here, right, or not here? He's here, right? Is he in the Shiva temples? Less likely than here. And Shivalaya also means place which is established by Shiva. So there are many meanings. So you are sitting in Shivalaya, place established by Shiv Baba. You remember Shiv Baba, and you also remember heaven. So heaven is also called Shivalaya, even though he's not there, but he established it, right? By having remembrance, you receive happiness. So even if in your understanding you remember that you are sitting in Shivalaya, place established by Shiva, you will be happy. Eventually you all have to go to Shivalaya. In that case, Shivalaya means the soul world. So where he is, he's in the soul world, right? Many people want to know where is God, so we can tell he's in the soul world, he's here with us, he's a high-speed person, right? No one is going to sit permanently in the soul world. In fact, the world of peace, Shanti Dham, is also called Shivalaya, because Shiv Baba lives there. And the Sukhdam is also called Shivalaya. So Sukhdam means the soul, there's a golden age, the world of happiness. Sukh doesn't actually mean happiness so much as prosperity. Both are established by Shiv Baba. So you children must remember both of them. That Shivalaya, the soul world, is for silence, and the other Shivalaya is for prosperity, happiness. This is Dukhdam, the world of sorrow. Are you in happiness in the world of sorrow? Yeah. You are now sitting at the confluence age, so we're not really in the world of sorrow, right? Do not remember anything but the world of peace, the world of happiness. It doesn't matter where you're sitting, even if you're sitting in your business place, in your intellect, your focus of attention is with both Shivalayas, the world, soul world, and the world of happiness, golden age. Forget the world of sorrow. Yes, don't be concerned about it. You know that this is called Vaishalaya. So Vaishalaya is a brothel. What is a brothel? It's a place where people are under duress, sexual harassment, all this stuff. And this is a world of sorrow. It is now to end. Do not fall asleep while sitting here. Anybody falling asleep? The intellects, the focus of attention of many children wander in other directions. Have you seen the wonderful picture called The 4 Stages of Yoga? You know this picture? Looks like a window with 4 window panes. And in the first quadrant, it shows a person meditating with little wiggly lines of different colors, all the way from dark gray to white through yellow and orange. And this is an indication that when you want to meditate, your intellect has a tendency to go in various directions but your intention, your choice, is to make it go towards Shiv Baba. So that's the first stage of yoga. So there are obstacles of Maya. What is Maya? It's sense perceptions that sit in your mind and draw your attention when you're not busy with something else. The Father repeatedly tells you, children, man mana bhav. So tune your mind with his mind. He also tells you various tactics, various strategies. So while sitting here, direct your intellect, direct your focus of attention first to Shivalay, the world of the souls, and then bear in mind that after that you will go to the world of happiness, the world of heaven, and by focusing your attention in this way, your sins will continue to be cut away. So how do your sins get cut away? Yeah, your sins are on strings, and strings will pull you this side or that side. Have you ever sailed in a sailing boat? Yeah, so you know the sails are held by strings or ropes. So your mind is also like a sail. You want it to go to Shiv Baba, but Maya will pull your string and make it go somewhere else. And the winds which blow the boat around, these are your emotions that are triggered by memories of other stuff. So this is cut away when you make your sailing ship go this way, and you snip the ropes that pull you in other directions. This is how your sins get cut. By your intention to keep yourself with Baba, and you resist the pull to other places. So sins are pulls to other places. So the more you stay in remembrance, the more you will move forward. So you should not sit here with other thoughts going on. You have to choose again and again, choose to be with Baba. And if you don't, you will be causing loss for others because you'll create a disturbance in the atmosphere by your other thoughts. The other people will get affected, right? It's very difficult to meditate on a crowded bus because there's all these other people thinking all kinds of other things which interferes with your meditation, right? So we have to be stronger than 100 people who are thinking all kinds of nonsense. So then if you're sitting with other thoughts in your mind, instead of benefiting the other people around, you'd be causing them a loss. So when we have meditation all together, it works well if everybody's focused on Baba. And if majority are, it'll bring the minority who aren't into better meditation. So that's an effect. Previously, when you had to sit in meditation, someone was placed to sit in front of you to check who were falling asleep and who was sitting with their eyes closed. That's the some military BK, right? Make sure everybody's front and center. So Baba used to see whether your intellect's yoga. So intellect's yoga actually means, it's nothing like intellect's yoga. It means focus of attention. So your focus of attention, if it was going somewhere else, or if you were falling asleep. So why do people fall asleep in meditation? Very interesting. They fall asleep in meditation because of a karmic account that's stronger than their willpower. It makes them fall asleep. This is a wonder. There are many who come here, but they don't understand anything. So he's talking about coming to Madhuban. So the Brahmin teachers bring them here, very good children should be sitting in front of Baba so that they do not create the wrong impression, because he is not an ordinary teacher. So create the wrong impression means if somebody doesn't understand who Baba is and you sit them in front of Baba, and somebody sees that and that person's mind is all over the place, it doesn't look so very good. So the Father is sitting here teaching you. So sit here with caution. Caution means pay attention. Baba gets you to sit in silence for 15 minutes. But you can sit for an hour or 2 hours. So some can sit for an hour, focus of attention, 2 hours, focus of attention. Not everyone is a Maharati. So Maharati is well practiced in focusing on Baba. Those who are weak have to be cautioned. Caution means again and again, draw their attention. And then they will become more alert and careful, pay attention. There are some who don't stay in remembrance, but just they're sitting there with a lot of waste thoughts. So this creates an obstacle in the atmosphere. Because when you are very detached from the body, you're very sensitive to what's going on in the thought space or the mind space. And so if it's well focused, then you can go with that. But if it's all over the place, you have to be very strong to neutralize it. And so there are some who create such obstacles because their focus of attention is going in other places. So all the Maharatis, the cavalry, and the infantry are sitting here. Baba has come today to the Murli, having churned the ocean of knowledge. So he's thinking about all these things. This means not Shiv Baba, Brahma Baba. The models of Shivalay and Vaishalay and the confluence age, all three that you children show at the museums and exhibitions, are a very good way to explain the knowledge to people. So you have a triptych. Do you know a triptych, what it is? In some of the ancient middle-aged churches, you get picture of 3 things, and they fold up. You can carry them off. It's called triptych. It's very frequently used in those days, in the 6th, 7th, 8th centuries. So you put the confluence age in the middle, put the Iron Age on one side, Golden Age on the other side, and you're showing people they go from the Iron Age via the confluence age to the Golden Age. So you can explain to people what this process is. So you should make very large 3 pictures. Get the biggest and the best holes for them so that this quickly fits in their understanding. People are impressed by size. If something's big, they think it's important. If it's small, they think it's unimportant. Your children should think about these things and how to improve the way that you communicate this to people. Make the most, you should make the most auspicious confluence age, the picture of the confluence age, very attractive. Then people will get a good understanding through that. You should draw a scene of 5 or 6 people sitting in tapasya. Now you put 5 or 6 people, but actually you should put 10 or 15 sitting in tapasya in the confluence age. You should make very big pictures and write information on them in very clear writing. You explain a lot, but people don't really understand. You make effort to explain, but they have stone intellects. They can't see clearly. So you have to go to where they are and pull them to where you are. And that's a very step-by-step thing. And if you don't understand where they are, you can't get them to go with you to where you want them to go. It's communication skills. As much as possible, explain very clearly. Those who remain engaged in doing service should think about how to increase service. You don't get as much pleasure when you explain using a projector and exhibitions as when you explain at museums. So the background to this is that if you're in a museum, it's a big place, right? And you have a big crowd of people, and you talk to them and they think, wow, so you enjoy that. If you're explaining with a projector, you're sitting the people in front of the screen and you're behind them, so you don't enjoy it so much as if you're in front of them, right? So anyway, so Baba says they will not understand much through projectors. The best is a museum, even though it may be a small museum. In one room, you show the scenes of Shivalaya, the Golden Age, Vaishalaya, the Iron Age, and then the Purushottam Sangam Yuga, the Confluence Age in the middle. You need a very broad and unlimited intellect to explain these things. The unlimited Father and the unlimited Teacher has come, but he's not going to sit down thinking that you children should pass your exams, your university exams for your masters or your bachelors. The Father is not just going to sit here like that. He will leave in a short time. Now Baba's not speaking to us directly anymore, so that short time is now past. So there is little time left, and yet people do not awaken. Those who are good daughters, they understand who he is and what his business is. He's a teacher, eh? They would say, why should I waste my time for 400 to 500 rupees by going to work? You have 8 hours plus 2 or 3 hours traveling, and all you get is 500 rupees, which is not that much. Your buying power is not that great. So then you're not doing spiritual service. So then what status could you claim in Shivalaya, the Golden Age? Baba sees that Kumaris are free. So you need to understand the conventional Hindu society of the 1940s, 50s, 60s. And it was not considered good if a girl would go to work. But it was considered that she should get married and have children and be taken care of by her husband and take care of the house and social things. So, but Kumaris were getting educated and they wanted to have independence. But a salary of a female is extraordinarily low in comparison with the salary of a male, which at that time was not that high anyway. So in terms of social responsibility, financial responsibility for the family, the girls did not have that responsibility. They still don't, but because of the circumstances, many girls are obligated to work to hold together the family. But from Baba's angle, Kumaris are free, you're available. So no matter how high a salary you receive, it's equivalent to a handful of chickpeas. Chickpeas don't cost that much. Very low value. Almonds cost more. So all this money that you're earning is going to end. Nothing will remain. No things, no locations, and no people. Is that okay? Just practice in advance for being all right with it when it happens. So the Father has now come to get you to give up this handful of chickpeas, but some just won't let go. So there, in the Iron Age, you get a handful of chickpeas, whereas here, you get the sovereignty of the world. It's a big difference. Those are just chickpeas worth a few pennies, and so why do you distress yourself chasing after them? Kumaris are free. Socially, the Kumari is not under any obligation to create money. The studies that you do in order to get a job to get money, those studies are worth only a few pennies. So if you stop those studies and continue to study this knowledge, your intellects can open. Young daughters should sit and give this knowledge to the older ones and explain that the Father has come to establish Shivalay, the Golden Age. You know that everything here is going to turn to dust. I suppose you're aware that there's a lot of threats to use nuclear weapons at this time. You're aware, right? So, and when that happens, there's not much left. So, a lot of dust. You will not even have those chickpeas in your fortune. Some might have 5 chickpeas, that means 500,000 rupees, 5 lakhs, in their hands, but that would also be destroyed. There is now very little time left. Day by day, the conditions are worsening, right? Suddenly, there are calamities. Floods, volcanoes, tornadoes, and storms and hurricanes, suddenly. Death happens suddenly. Even while holding chickpeas in their fists, they're leaving their bodies. So people need to be liberated from this monkey-like behavior. If you want to catch a monkey, you get a bottle with a relatively small mouth, put some chickpeas in it, and the monkey will put his hand in to get the chickpeas, but because it's tight like this, he won't be able to get it out. That's how you catch a monkey. Don't be happy just by seeing the museum. You have to show wonders. People have to be reformed. Reformed means uplifted. Father is giving you children the sovereignty of the world, but some will not even have chickpeas in their fortune. Everything will be destroyed. So instead of that, why not claim the sovereignty from the Father? There's no difficulty in this. Is it difficult? All you have to do is be in Baba's remembrance and do what is needed. It's not difficult. You simply have to remember the Father and spin the discus of self-realization. What does it mean, spin the discus of self-realization? I am a deity and I am a Shudra. Can you do that? Very difficult. Because you have to be equal among all the stages. And when you spin it, you can be, because you find that everything is one thing when you spin it. If you don't spin it, then you have a problem. Yes. You empty your fists of the chickpeas and fill your fists with diamonds and jewels of knowledge, and then return home. The Father says, sweet children, why are you wasting your time chasing after a handful of chickpeas? It is true, if someone is elderly and has many children, he has to look after them. Having a child is expensive. Having 10 children is 10 times more expensive. It is very easy for Kumaris. You do not have any responsibilities. So when someone comes, just explain to them that the Father is giving us this sovereignty. So you should claim the sovereignty. Your fists are now becoming full of diamonds. Can you see? Got any? Everything else is going to be destroyed. The Father explains, you have been performing sins for 63 births, negative karma which is not in your best interest, which costs you, that's called sin. And another sin is defaming the Father and the deities. So defaming the Father and the deities involves believing that God is everything and everywhere and all that. And God is in every person. And he says, no, if I would be in every person, they'd all be godlike, and they aren't, so I can't be. Wrong logic. Defaming deities, there are a lot of stories about deities that are not very flattering. So there's also defaming deities. You became vicious, that means vice-based, and you insulted the Father. You insulted the Father so much. So the Father is sitting here explaining to you children, don't waste your time. Do not say, Baba, I am unable to stay in remembrance. Anybody doing that? Oh, Baba, I can't be in remembrance. My meditation is not working. Happens, right? Of course it does. But it's better to say, Baba, I can't get myself into soul consciousness. Because it's a two-step process. First you have to be soul conscious and then connect with Baba. If you stay body conscious and try to connect with Baba, it will not work so well because you're not on his level. So you have to get on his level by being soul conscious, and then you can tune quite well. So I forget myself. To become body conscious means to forget yourself. You think you are your race, your gender, your culture, your nationality, your position, your bank account, all this. This is your bodily identity. If you can't remember yourself as a soul, if you can't be detached from your physical identity, then how could you remember the Father? You have to get onto his level. The destination is very high, it's very subtle. This is very easy Raj Yoga. Not too much easy about easy Raj Yoga. This word Sahaj has another meaning which is very helpful, I think, and that is it also means in the context of people. So when you're in the context of people, you get pulled by different other perceptions and circumstances and so on. So then it becomes hard to be in the middle of everyone and still with Baba. This is the practice. This is also called Sahaj. So there is opposition from Maya. Although people study the Gita, etc., they do not understand the meaning of it at all. Do you study the Gita? Do you know the Gita? All of it? Well, he's talking about the Bhagavad Gita that you can buy in bookstores. So it's full of symbols, and what we have is the key, because Baba is teaching us the original Gita. He is called the giver of the knowledge of the Gita. So if you look at any part of the Gita, you can know which word is correct, which word is not correct, because you've got the key. So the people who study the Gita don't understand the meaning of it at all. You understand the meaning. So the main scripture of Bharat is the Gita. Each religion has its own scripture, and none of those who establish a religion can be called the Satguru. So a guru means a teacher, and the Satguru means he teaches you the truth. So all the people who establish religions, they basically they give a certain amount of existing knowledge, which all comes from the Indian scriptures, which are all falsified over time, and then they give their own purity, their own interpretation, and so they may be gurus but not the Satguru. So they get to be called Dharmatma, religious souls. There are many who call themselves gurus. If someone teaches another to become to be a skilled carpenter or a skilled engineer, then he's also a guru. Guru means teacher in most cases. Anyone who teaches something is a guru. But there is only one Satguru. And you have now found the Satguru. He is also the true father, the true teacher, true guru. True means as a father, he knows exactly how to interact with you, how to raise you so that you become divine human beings. As a teacher, he knows how to educate you so that you know how to think logically, coherently, meaningfully, and how to analyze what's what, and explain to other people. So this is why you children shouldn't be careless. It means pay attention. You leave here, you leave Madhuban having become very well refreshed, but as soon as you arrive at home, you forget everything. I did an experiment about this one time in India, and I discovered something quite interesting, and that is that a lot of people, especially people who are not particularly well educated, but who are very much under the influence of the people around, their friends, relatives, their social circle. And so when they're in the center, they believe what Baba says. And when they go home, they believe what other people say. So it keeps on shifting. And that's so normal that they don't really see any problem about it. And it's quite difficult to be in an environment where people think differently from you because they won't like it and they will give you a bit of a hard time. And so to maintain your understanding in the middle of other people, you need to be able to be in it but not in it. It's a trick. A lot of punishment is received in the jail of the womb. So in the golden age, your experience in the womb is like a palace. And so there are no sinful actions performed such that one would have to experience punishment. So when somebody leaves their body in the Iron Age and they go into a womb for their next birth, they have about 4 or 5 months in the womb, during which they see many visions of what they did in their previous birth, because they have the subtle body of their previous body, and they're still with that identity. And so they see everything and they have to face the consequences. So here in Madhuban, you children understand that you're personally studying with the Father. Outside, at your home, you wouldn't say the same. There, you would understand that your brother is teaching you. But here, you have come directly in front of the Father. So the Father explains to you children very well. There is a difference in the way the Father explains and the way that you children explain, definitely. The Father sits here and cautions you. He says, child, child, and explains to you. You understand Shivale and Vaishale. Shivalay, the Golden Age, Vaishalay, the Iron Age. It is a matter of the unlimited. So show this clearly so that people can enjoy it. So he's going back to this picture of the three. Iron Age, Confluence Age, Golden Age, and how you go. But you have to explain to them seriously. Wait a sec, I missed a bit. Show this clearly so that people can enjoy it. So there, in the museum, you explain in a light manner. I mean, it's a bit casually. But you have to explain to them seriously so they can understand very clearly. Have mercy for yourselves. Are you just going to stay in the world that's Vaishalay, the brothel? And Baba has thoughts about how to explain. Children make so much effort, yet nothing seems to be sinking in. People continue to say, yes, yes, it's very good, and you should also go and explain this in villages, although they themselves don't understand anything. Wealthy people with high social status and much money will not understand. Because one thing they do understand is you have to give up too much. They will not pay attention to this at all. They will come at the end, but by that time it'll be too late. At that time their wealth will not be useful. That means no use of any donations, they won't be needed, they won't be accepted. And they won't be able to stay in yoga. It'll be very disturbed circumstances. But yes, if they listen to the knowledge, at least to some extent, then they can be part of the subjects. The poor can claim a very high status. If you tell a poor person to give up everything, they don't have anything anyway, so it's not a big deal. So they say, the wealthy shall be poor and the poor shall be rich and all of this. What do Kumaris have? Nothing, right? So a Kumari is said to be poor because the sons get their father's inheritance. But yes, when a Kumari is given away in marriage, then she has to accept sexual activity. And so they tell the girl, you go and get married and I will give you money. That means a prostitution, right? So that's why it's called a brothel. If you don't do sex, you won't get any money. This is what Baba's saying. So if you want to stay pure, you won't get a single penny. Look at their mentality. Do not be afraid of anyone. Because if you threaten a person, if you don't do what I want, you won't get any money, they would be afraid. Because where do you get money from? Not allowed to work, social reject, difficult. Explain everything openly, be very active. You are telling the complete truth. This is the confluence age. On one side is a handful of chickpeas, and on this side, a handful of diamonds. So, instead of being like a monkey, going for the chickpeas, you are now becoming worthy of being in a temple. Being in a temple means being a deity. Not in a temple, but a real live one. Make effort to claim a birth that's as valuable as a diamond. Your faces should be like courageous lioness. How are you doing with that? Are you fierce? Are you fierce? Not really. You need to be a bit fierce, right? Otherwise no one will think you're a courageous lioness. Have you looked carefully at lionesses? Yeah. They do the hunting, not the lions. They just hang around in bed, lions. You see in Africa, you get a lion who's lying down sleeping with tons of other lions around and other lionesses around, and one lioness goes off and has to get lunch, and then they all have lunch. But the lioness has to hunt. And so when you're hunting, you have to be somewhat fierce, right? So some people look like timid goats, and they're afraid even of a little bang, ooh. So don't be that. The Father cautions all of you children. Kumaris, don't allow yourself to get trapped. How do you get trapped? Someone will put some cheese and then bang goes the trap and you're caught like a mouse. If you get trapped in these bondages, you will be beaten unless you let yourself be used sexually. If you imbibe this knowledge well, you will become empresses of the world. So you have to stand up and fight, I was telling you yesterday. Is that okay? Can you do that? Can't stand up and fight as a goat. You will get chopped. The Father says, I've come to give you the sovereignty of the world. So you have rights, right? Do you know you have rights? But if you have rights and you don't claim them, it's not much use. You have to know what your rights are, claim your rights, be in your power in a good way, right? Do not be goat. But it's not in the fortune of some. The Father is called the Lord of the Poor, Garib Nivas. Have you seen Garib Nivas? It's a mosque, not far from Mount Abu, Garib Nivas, the Lord of the Poor. Kumaris are poor. When parents are unable to get their daughter married, they have to have a dowry, right? So they give her away free. So if you give your girl away free, then whoever gets her feels like he can do what he wants. So Kumaris should be very intoxicated at what you can get with Baba. I should study well and claim a good status. Good students pay attention to their studies so that they pass with honor. They are the ones who then receive a scholarship. Scholarship means money. The more effort you make, the higher the status you will receive. And that too will be for 21 births. So you have to have a little bit of courage to claim what is on offer and do that. Here, what you get is very temporary benefit, temporary financial benefit. Today, you may get a status, but if you die the next day, then you lose everything. There is a difference between yogis and bogis. So bogis are those who are suffering from the effects of karma. You get sick and you have various negative habits. So the Father says you should pay more attention to poor people because wealthy people will not take this up. They will simply say, this is very good, the organization is very good, and it will benefit many people. But they don't take benefit themselves. They say this is very good, but then when they leave this place, everything is over. They go back to whatever they were thinking before. So Maya is sitting outside at the gate with a stick and makes them lose all their enthusiasm. By slapping them just once, Maya makes you lose all your wisdom. You know, in India, the police have a big stick, so Maya has one of them. Father explains, look at the condition of Bharat. So the condition of Bharat when Baba was speaking was very poor, very difficult. Just after independence, was not wealthy. And Now it's very different. So people cannot, unless they knew it, and many, many years ago, 50, 60 years ago, you wouldn't realize what he's talking about. You children have understood the drama very well. Have you understood the drama very well? That's the subject. Acha. To the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning. From the mother, the father, Bap Dada, and the spiritual father says namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father. The essence for dharana: let go of this handful of chickpeas and make full effort, pay full attention on claiming the sovereignty of the world from the Father. Do not be afraid of anything or anyone. Is that okay? Are you afraid? You have to check. Become fearless and stay free. It's quite easy to get free, not easy to stay free. So you have to get free and stay free. Use your time in a worthwhile way, profitably, and earn a true income. Yoga, meditation, service, worthwhile karma. Secondly, let go of this world of sorrow, forget it, and remember Shivalay, two Shivalays, the soul world and the golden age, the world of peace, the world of happiness, and recognize the obstacles of Maya. Maya is sometimes called illusion, which means an obstacle looks like a good idea, but it's a trap. So recognize, use your third eye, and pay attention so that you don't get trapped. Blessing. May you be a conqueror of attachment and an embodiment of remembrance. This is the last part of the Gita. Nashto moha smriti labdha. So everybody knows a few famous sentences from the Gita, but very few people know what's in between. It's also interesting. So, conquer attachment, destroyer. It's really a destroyer of attachment, and you're totally aware of God by studying the teachings and the lessons of the Gita. So the first lesson of the knowledge of the Gita is be a bodiless soul, right? Second chapter. And the last lesson, 18th chapter, is destroy your attachment and remain fully aware. What do people attach to is conventional morality. And so you've got a big conflict between conventional morality and Shrimat. So really Paramat and Shrimat. So Paramat corresponds to the concepts of Advaita Vedanta and the Manusmriti. These are the two very, very powerful influences which are considered to be correct, good, and right. And Baba comes along and says, not exactly. Not even close. And so it's, if you really understand the contrast of the two and you analyze them systematically, coherently, and clearly in your intellect, Baba gives every single argument for taking down ideas which are incoherent, illogical, and based on a materialism, right? So you know the arguments, so you can argue. So the first lesson is the method, be bodiless, and the final lesson is the result of the method. and has to apply the method a lot for a long time, and then eventually you get it, take the exam, pass the exam. You know the last exam, correct? You know the last exam? No, the last exam is you will be attacked, heavy-duty attack, by all the 5 vices, by all the 5 elements, and by ghosts. And in that, leave your body happily in remembrance of Baba. Can you do that? Not yet. And so the end of the world is being progressively postponed while we acquire this capability, because Baba had said, if you don't become the deities, then who will? There's no other candidates. So you have to practice, understand, think about it, try it out, all these things over a good long time to get this skill and this speed and all this. So it's not so easy, Raj Yoga, really. But anyway, we do it every cycle, so we will do it. So first study these lessons yourself at every moment, and then teach them to others. Perform such elevated karma that on seeing you performing elevated karma, the other souls will also perform elevated karma, they'll be inspired, and they will be able to make the line of their fortune elevated. And the slogan is, stay merged in God's love, and you will be liberated from having to work hard. Om Shanti. So we'll have just a few moments of meditation, and then we can have some chit-chat, some question-answer, however you wish, until about 8:30, right? Or 9? 8:30? Yes.